Contrast. That's what strikes you about this exhibition. The English Electric Group makes so many different things, such as aircraft engines. This is the famous wartime Napier Sabre. Here's television. This is a demonstration studio. Camera on the right, screen in the center, monitor screen on the left. Contrast again. A hydroelectric plant, the Loch Sloy power station. Aircraft, the Canberra. Circuit breakers. These are, in reality, over 20 feet high. A cold strip steel rolling mill. If engineering does attract you, the special attraction here is that there's such a wide choice. How do you make a start? Apprenticeship is the way in. After being interviewed and accepted, you turn up at the training center of one of the group's factories. Straight away, there's an introductory talk. This deals with general aspects of training, such as safety at work and company policy. Everyone listens politely and feels a bit strange. There are 3 grades: craft apprentice, student apprentice, and graduate apprentice. All 3 grades start in the training center where everyone is an apprentice. First, you have a good look at the field of operation. And then you move in. Each grade of apprentice follows a different training program. Suppose you're a student. Perhaps that's your bench. What do you do first? Something fairly simple. It may seem very simple, but no matter. You're still busy getting used to the new surroundings. Apprentices who start with no previous experience of metalwork may want more time on the first stages than the fellow who's done quite a bit. Each will get the time he needs, but you won't spend all your time in the training center. One day and one evening a week, you can learn theory at a nearby technical college. Your aim will be the higher national certificate in mechanical or electrical engineering, or a London University external degree. If you have to live away from home, the company will find you a room or accommodation in one of its hostels. Of course, if you prefer to find your own digs, nobody's going to stop you. You'll soon begin to make friends, and will probably spend some of your evenings in one of the club rooms. The training center course gives you a variety of work. You may make a scribing block. The first operation, shaping. Second, horizontal milling. tapping. Reaming the sleeve on the capstan lathe. Turning the stem on the center lathe. Drilling the rocker arm. Hardening the scriber on the forge. Finally, the assembly. Good. You've made a real instrument. Now in the drawing school. If you like making drawings, you may eventually settle in a drawing office. Perhaps you'll become a designer or go into development and research. You may not be very quick at understanding technical drawings, but you'll soon get the hang of it when you've made some yourself. After the first few months, the strangeness has worn off, and an apprentice is ready to come into the works. His first introduction to a foreman may take place in a heavy machine shop. There'll be other apprentices in the shop, and later he'll exchange jobs, gaining experience of the various machines. For a start, he may work on this vertical borer, together with an older apprentice who'll explain the ropes. Bigger machines may look more interesting, but all in good time. A mistake on a large machining job like this would be very expensive. The material is costly, and a lot of labor has gone into preparing it for this operation. So he doesn't touch them just yet, but it won't take so very long to get used to heavy machine work. A scene like this of men mounting a diesel crankshaft acquires a meaning and a feeling difficult to describe that it didn't have before. All the while, one day and one evening a week, you can be studying at the technical college. Perhaps by now you're working on generators or other electrical equipment. Maybe you're in one of the erection bays. This crane is bringing part of the roof of a diesel locomotive. An apprentice is bolting the roof structure. On the other side of the bay, locomotives are in a later stage of construction. Here you do see all the time the size and importance of what you're working on. And you do see the end product. There's just the same feeling where aircraft are being assembled. Ready to go now. The work of designers, draftsmen, planners, supervisors, and craftsmen. One of the products of engineering. After 2 years, you have to choose a particular branch of engineering. The graduate, whose training takes 2 years, chooses about halfway through his apprenticeship. But some of the student and craft apprentices are still uncertain. You have not only to decide which branch of engineering to take up, but also which function. Production in the works, design, perhaps? Or research? Whatever you choose, your training will now be more specialized. This apprentice has chosen diesel engines as his main interest, and design as his function. A large part of his training time has been spent in the various production shops. Now he's in the drawing office for the final period of his training. But he might have chosen the commercial offices, where he'd have got an insight into the methods of selling the finished product. You can't sell turbines by going around with samples in your case. You have to be an engineer, able to give practical advice on the spot. You may have to go all over the world. To do well in the commercial office, you need good general engineering knowledge, as well as special understanding of what's being sold, because clients will expect you to answer all kinds of technical questions. Apprentices who choose telecommunications will do a lot of this kind of work during the latter stages of their training. This is a 30 kilowatt transmitter. Equipment is made for countries all over the world. For East Africa, Rhodesia, Canada, for here, there, and everywhere. Television cameras, too, are made for export. Apprentices help to assemble television equipment and radar sets. This is the assembly of a scanner. Here, radar sets are tested. The screen plots the surrounding town and countryside. Suppose you choose research. That requires advanced maths, physics, and possibly electronics. You may work at the Marconi College or in one of the company's other laboratories, where you can receive specialist training during your apprenticeship. Just as craft apprentices can achieve student grade, so can student apprentices achieve graduate status. This fourth-year apprentice is in a research team, and he does quite exacting work, still under supervision, but with increasing responsibility. A professional engineer is a valuable person who can work almost anywhere in England or abroad. All senior staff are trained engineers. When your indenture ends and your certificate comes through, you'll probably be invited to stay on. Of course, an apprentice can go elsewhere if he wants to, but most likely there'll be a position with good prospects in this group of companies, perhaps in the very same building. Yes, you've had a lot of experience and you've made your choice. And to your particular choice, you now go as a professional engineer. If your aim is to rise to a senior staff position, you're already on your way.